Well, how's it going, guys? James back here at Butler Farms. Man, we are getting ready to put some plants in the ground. It's been a long winter. Had a good hunting season. Put a lot of meat in the freezer, but now it's time to do what I love to do, which is to put plants in that garden right down there and get growing. Still got a little cool weather hanging around. It feels so good out here today. So we're going to take advantage of it. I'm a little worried about the temperature at night. Still going to get down in the 40s, but I don't see any frost. I don't see any major cold weather coming, and it's going to be up in the mid to upper 70s, lower 80s over about the next week to 10 days. So our last frost date here in Alabama was said to be March the 25th. It's now almost mid-April, and like I told you in a video a little while back, we had a scare coming where we were supposed to have some really cold nights for a while, and it did dip down into, I guess, the low 40s. It never, here from what I saw, it never got into the 30s. So we dodged that bullet. I did hold off on putting my plants in the ground. You know, I know a lot of people that were banking on that last frost date, and they went ahead and put it in. They've lost some, but for the most part they did okay. So I'm a little bit behind as far as getting them in the ground, but I'm going to do that today. Hopefully. I got to go check that garden. It rained last night, so I'm going to see if I can get the tiller in it and make it look nice and get it ready for some plants. But one thing that I've noticed working with young people and having kids of my own is they like to watch videos of like grocery hauls and clothes hauls. I don't get it. Watching what people bought at the store and all that kind of stuff. But I haven't done one myself on what I'm putting in the garden this year. And I'm gonna be upfront and honest, I have scaled way back. Over the last several years, I think last year, I had, I want to say between 350 and 400 tomato starts. Guys, I don't have the room for that. I was doing it because I love to do it. It gives me something to do while it's cold. But, you know, I ended up giving most of them away, which was a blessing to people. You know, we do have some local nurseries here in town that sell plant starts pretty cheap. But there's nothing cheaper than free, and so I gave a lot of those away. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of babying and taking care of them, and every day I was up there having to watch them, move lights, move heating pads, those kind of things. So instead of having all those racks and then having to just invent places to put tomato plants and pepper plants and everything else that I started, I scaled way back this year. As far as tomatoes go, I'm not growing near as many as I have in the past, simply because we still have so many of them that are canned from last year and even 2023 that, you know, we really don't need a lot of canned tomatoes right now. I did bump up my Roma type tomatoes this year because I'm gonna get back into making salsa and things like that, and they're less watery, they're easier to work with as far as making salsa. So I did bump that back up a little bit, but I bet total I didn't do but about 75 starts total, and that includes peppers, that includes tomatoes. I've already given some of those away, but I was just going to show you real quick what I have. It's real simple. As I told you in an earlier video, I've got to get these things in the ground. They are past due as far as getting them in the ground. This first one that I have, I've got a couple of these. We like the little cherry tomatoes just for fresh eating, to eat in our salads and stuff like that throughout the summer. These are Sun Gold. You can see it there, how big that thing's getting. I don't have but about 2 or 3 of those, which was good because I was able to use up a pack that only had about 4 seeds left in it. Maybe a few more, but the seeds were getting pretty old, so you know, I'm pleased with that. That'll keep my wife and I in salad type tomatoes throughout the summer. My kids don't bother with them, so it's not really that big a deal as far as those go. Got some Roma tomatoes here. You can see what size they're getting. Like I said, I did bump those up. I've always grown a few of them, but never enough to do the amount of salsa and stuff. We eat a lot of salsa, and I want to get back into making homemade salsa, so I got some Roma type tomatoes. This year I went with Atkinson. I've got all these weird tomatoes seeds that are in my booklet that I've shown you before, and I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of getting to the point where they're more trouble than they're worth. They do produce, but they don't produce the way I need them to. I needed something that was going to produce heavily, and you know, in a pretty rapid amount of time, that I could get canned. I'm not running a fruit stand trying to, you know, sell strange looking fruits and vegetables. Maybe one day when I get retired. But right now I'm just looking for production. So got my Atkinsons. Man, those things are past ready to get in the ground. You can see what size those are. I think I've got about 8 or 10 of the Romas, and I think there's 12 or maybe 15 of the Atkinsons. So along with the salsa, and I love peppers. I'm about the only one around here that does. Now we take bell peppers and we prepare them and put them in the freezer and use them all winter long in recipes. We just reach over there and grab some and put them in our recipes. Same way with onions. I'm really the only one that does anything with hot peppers unless it's in salsa and stuff like that. So of course I got my little pepper plants here. You can see they struggled coming up this year. I didn't think they were going to germinate. I thought I was going to end up having to buy those elsewhere. And then I've got my old standby California Wonder bell peppers. We love bell peppers around here. And I think I've got maybe 8 or 10 jalapenos and about 8 or 10 of the California Wonders. Now, I did go out and I'm just trying to add a little bit here and there. We buy a lot of chives. I've never been able to get them to germinate. So I was walking by, I saw these, and I was like, why not? I mean, it's a perennial. I'll stick it somewhere kind of out of the way. It'll die back and come back, and you know, maybe they'll make it, maybe they won't. It was real cheap, so don't have a lot in it. But like I said, we use a lot of chives in our cooking, but we end up having to buy them because that's just, I've told you before, my nightmare with herbs, and chives are one of them that I haven't been able to do. Now, the bulk of my garden, as always, is going to be peas and beans. We eat a lot of them. We put them up. We have them pretty regular throughout the week as we're cooking. So obviously I have to buy those. So I've got a pound here of the Mississippi Pink Eye Purple Hulls. That's what I love. That's what I grew up on. Excuse me, the pollen's getting me out here. Growing up as a boy, we always planted Mississippi Pink Eye Purple Hulls. That's my parents' favorite pea, and that's the one we love around here. And because of space concerns, excuse me again, this pollen's getting me. Because of space concerns, I have to do bush beans until I can get the other part of that garden broken up, which now, as I've shown you, I've got a piece of equipment to do that. Next year, hopefully that garden will double in size and I can get back into pole beans. But I like the Blue Lake pole beans, so I went by this morning and got me some Blue Lake bush bush beans, and I love them. They're good. They're stringless. They come in heavy and hard all at the same time, so you've got a bunch that you can put up at once, and as long as you keep them picked, they'll keep coming. Now, real quick, I am going to do some things from seed this year. Cutting back on the amount of tomatoes and the amount of peppers has freed up some room in that garden that I have never had before, and so I'm kind of excited about that. A couple of the things, we got some cucumbers here. These are left over from 2021, but they'll be fine. These are the Market More 76. We don't eat a lot of cucumbers around here. My wife likes them. A couple of my kids like them. I'm not a fan, but I'm gonna grow some for them. Always got to have my zucchini. I'm a fan of the Black Beauty zucchini. And so we'll have a couple of hills of those. As you know, if you think you need one more hill of zucchini, you better rethink that, because it's going to boom. We like summer squash a lot. One of the ones that we grow is the yellow crookneck. That's always been one of our favorites, but we also found one a couple of years ago called the Dixie Hybrid. The crookneck is one of those bumpy type squashes. These are very smooth, as you can see in the picture. These are also left over from 2021, so it does good for me to be able to use these up this year. If there's 10 seeds in there and I can get 5 of them to come up, then great, and I've used them up. One thing I'm trying this year out on the hill out by the road is sunflowers. I've never done sunflowers before. I'm looking forward to it. Don't know what I'm going to do with them if they grow. I know that this is a type that has edible seeds, so we'll see. I don't know if I can keep the birds off. If I can get them to grow and keep the birds off of them, maybe we can have some sunflower seeds. I just like them. We're getting back into okra, as you can see from Baker Creek here. This heavy hitter okra is one that I used to grow. I know everybody likes the Clemson spineless and things like that. This heavy hitter, as you can see in that picture, yes, I have grown okra that looks just like that at the top, guys, and you can come back a day or two later and it'll look like that again. So we're not going to grow a whole bunch of those, but we're going to have okra again this year. And then I'm going to get into my winter squash. We love the Seminole pumpkins. These are left over from 2022, so I'm going to use them up this year. This is a small little pumpkin, very sweet, orange meat inside. They store very well, and they do well down here in this hot, humid part of the South. This is one I just like that I thought I would try. I think you pronounce that Gerardale squash. The last couple of years they've actually been sold out when I've tried to find them, so I was happy to get them this past year. It says it grows a 6 to 10 pound pumpkin. As you can see, they're blue-gray on the outside. They're supposed to be really sweet, and they are also a good keeper, and that's what we're looking for, is to be able to keep them. And then we have the old standby, the butternut squash, and so we will be growing those as well. Those haven't done too well the last few years because of bug problems and things like that, but I'm going to try to stay on top of it a little bit more than I have in the past and try to take care of the pest issues. So that's what we're going to go with this year, cutting back on the tomatoes and the peppers because we have so many of them already put back and already canned, and like I said, that's going to free up some room to do some stuff that we haven't done in a couple of years, and kind of diversify a little bit and have some fresh eating out of the garden that we've been missing. So I'm gonna leave it right there. It's time for me to go down there and get started. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Please hit that thumbs up button before you leave. Leave me a comment. I'll get back to you. I love talking to you. And until next time, don't forget, this is James from Butler Farms. God bless, and we'll be seeing you.